If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. Man, what a Sunday it was in Cleveland. You could almost feel the relief pouring down with that cold October rain as the Browns finally got that much-needed second win of the season, taking down the Miami Dolphins in Week 7 in dominant fashion. And I mean dominant in every sense of the word. This wasn't one of those ugly, scrape-it-out wins we've come to expect from the Browns when the weather turns nasty at the lake. This was an all-phases, team-wide statement. Defense, offense, special teams, all clicking, all feeding off each other. And in the middle of that muddy masterpiece, one name stood out brighter than the rest: Quinshon Judkins. The rookie running back who's quickly making fans forget that painful phrase, post-Nick Chubb era. After Sunday, it's starting to feel like Cleveland might have its next great one already. Let's set the stage here. It was a rainy, windy day at Cleveland Browns Stadium. The kind of day where the ball feels like a brick, where quarterbacks hate life and running backs start licking their chops. The Dolphins came in looking flat-out lost when it comes to stopping the run, ranked dead last in the league in rushing defense. And man, did the Browns know it. They came in with a plan: pound the rock, control the clock, let that defense feast. And that's exactly what they did. By halftime, Cleveland was up 17-6 and had sucked every ounce of momentum out of Miami's high-powered offense. You could see it on the Dolphins' sideline: frustration, confusion, a little disbelief. It was the kind of old-school AFC North football game that makes you want to grab a cup of coffee and just appreciate the grind. And then there was Judkins. 3 touchdowns, 84 yards on the ground, and more importantly, moments. Those highlight reel, game-tilting, heart-pumping plays that make you sit up and say, wait a minute, this kid might be special. His first touchdown? Pure electricity. 46 yards of raw power and balance, slicing through the Dolphins' defense like a hot knife through butter. One cut, one burst, and he was gone. It was the kind of run that changes a game, and, honestly, maybe changes the way this Browns team views its own identity. After the game, Myles Garrett, the heartbeat, the leader, the franchise cornerstone, didn't hold back when asked about the rookie. And when Garrett talks, the locker room listens. He runs hard, Garrett said, a grin breaking through that usual stoic expression. He's dynamic. I mean, spinning off that tackle that most guys would have gone down clean on. That just shows how special he is as a runner. You could hear the genuine respect in his voice. And if there's one thing Myles Garrett doesn't hand out easily, it's praise. Garrett went on to mention the rest of the running back room too: Jerome Ford, Dylan Johnson, giving them props for their contributions, but he came back to the same point. Judkins is different. He's got that spark, that old-school Cleveland toughness, mixed with a modern, explosive style that feels tailor-made for today's NFL. Let's not forget, this kid wasn't even in the lineup Week 1 because of a contract dispute. He missed the opener against the Bengals, sitting at home while his teammates went to battle. But since joining the lineup, it's been full throttle. 467 yards, 5 touchdowns, and a growing sense that the Browns have found something real, something foundational. That's not just production. That's a young player already shaping the future of this franchise. And Myles Garrett knows exactly what that means. He's been through the highs and lows of this team, the rebuilds, the heartbreaks, the endless search for identity. For him to publicly call out a rookie's effort and toughness after a big win says a lot about what's brewing inside that locker room. Garrett's comments weren't just about Judkins' skill. They were about what Judkins represents: resilience, humility, hard work, and the kind of never-die attitude that defines Cleveland football when it's at its best. All of them are going to be crucial down the stretch to keep picking up wins, Garrett said, referring to the entire running back room. So I'm proud of all of them. That right there is leadership, balancing praise with perspective, recognizing that it'll take every man on that roster to keep this momentum alive. Now, don't get it twisted. This wasn't an offensive explosion by any means. The Browns finished with just 206 yards of total offense. The weather was brutal, the passing game was limited, and rookie quarterback Dylan Gabriel was making only his second start. But that's the beauty of it. Cleveland didn't need a flashy aerial attack. They needed discipline, physicality, and a plan, and they executed it to perfection. Gabriel did exactly what was asked of him. 13 completions on 18 attempts, 116 yards, no turnovers, and a steady hand in a sloppy, chaotic game. His post-game demeanor said it all: calm, grounded, team first. "I try not to make it about myself," Gabriel said. "It's just about the team and us finding a way to win, coming together." That's music to any coach's ears. Meanwhile, the defense, led, of course, by Garrett, was ferocious. For forced turnovers, relentless pressure, and total domination up front. Every time Miami tried to get something going, Cleveland slammed the door shut. It was a statement performance, the kind that reminds you why the Browns' defense is among the league's most feared when they're locked in. And that's the context that makes Judkins' emergence even more exciting. For years, Cleveland's calling card has been defense first, run the ball second. It's a formula that works when you have the right back. And after Sunday, it feels like they do again. There's something poetic about watching a rookie seize his moment like that, especially on a day when conditions were so miserable. You can tell a lot about a player when the weather's bad, who wants contact, who embraces the mud, who finds joy in the grind. Judkins not only handled it, he thrived in it. His balance, his patience, the way he reads blocks, it's rare for someone that young. And when he spun out of that tackle on his second touchdown, you could almost hear the collective gasp from the crowd. That was the play Myles Garrett was talking about. Most backs get dropped there. It's a clean hit, the kind that usually ends a drive. But Judkins stayed up, kept his feet, and powered into the end zone. That's pure instinct, pure will. That's the kind of play that makes teammates believe. Cleveland's locker room has been through a lot already this season. From offensive struggles to questions about coaching decisions, to that frustrating loss against the Steelers where they dropped back to pass a jaw-dropping 60 times. It's been chaos at times. But this win, this game, felt like a reset. It reminded them who they are and what kind of football wins in October, November, and December. Run the ball. Play defense. Win the turnover battle. Simple, old school, effective. And when your best player, Myles Garrett, is publicly praising your rookie running back, that's when you know something's clicking. Next up, the Browns face the New England Patriots before heading into their bye week. It's another big test, not because the Patriots are world beaters right now, but because consistency has been Cleveland's biggest enemy. This team has shown flashes of greatness before, only to stumble when the spotlight shifts. But this feels different. This feels sustainable, because it's built on effort, energy, and emerging young stars like Judkins and Gabriel. The offense still has work to do, no doubt about it. The passing game needs rhythm, the play calling could use some fine-tuning, and the receivers have to start creating separation. But when you've got a ground game like this, you can buy yourself time to figure the rest out. So yeah, when Myles Garrett says Quinton Judkins is special, believe him. He's not the type to throw compliments around for clicks or headlines. He's a perfectionist, a standard setter, a guy who's seen a lot of next big things come and go. For him to spotlight Judkins after a hard-fought, rainy, grinded-out win says everything. It's respect earned, not given. And for Browns fans, that should mean everything. Because if there's one thing this city loves more than a win, it's a player who earns it the hard way. Judkins is that guy. Tough, talented, humble, built for Cleveland. Built for the cold, built for the contact, built for the moment. And if this game was any indication, the future of the Browns' backfield is in very, very good hands. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. The Cleveland Browns locker room was nothing short of stunned yesterday after what might be the most explosive confrontation we've seen this season. The scene unfolded during a live broadcast where Deshaun Watson, the Browns star quarterback, didn't hold back. What started as a routine post-practice media session quickly spiraled into chaos as Watson unleashed a verbal barrage against head coach Kevin Stefanski, leaving reporters scrambling and teammates visibly shaken. There's been talk around the league, whispers in the hallways of the Browns facility, but no one expected Watson to go nuclear in front of cameras. And that's exactly what happened. It's the kind of moment that makes fans clutch their seats, social media erupt, and insiders start speculating about locker room unrest, trades, and potential coaching shakeups. What did Watson actually say? Well, sources tell us it wasn't subtle. He questioned Stefanski's play calling, criticized the team's offensive strategy, and even hinted at frustration with the leadership structure in the building. Teammates, according to eyewitness accounts, were left wide-eyed and silent, some clearly trying to process the words while others just stared, unsure whether to intervene or stay out of it. In a league where quarterbacks are already under immense pressure, Watson's comments cut deeper because they came publicly, directly, and with zero filter. Imagine walking into a locker room where everyone is on edge, and then your franchise quarterback goes live, mic on, and lays everything out. That's exactly the scene that unfolded. The intensity of the moment cannot be overstated. Watson, known for his calm and collected demeanor, appeared almost unrecognizable to those who have followed his career closely. There were sharp words, a tone that betrayed genuine anger, and an unmistakable sense of urgency. He didn't just criticize Stefanski's decision-making in games. He questioned the direction of the team, calling into doubt whether the current system maximizes the talent around him. Observers note that his comments were particularly focused on offensive schemes and what he described as predictable play calling that has, in his view, hindered the team's ability to compete at the highest level. For the Browns, a franchise that has long struggled to balance expectations with performance, this moment is a bombshell. It's not just about the disagreement. It's about the medium, the audience, and the potential ripple effects. Coaches thrive on respect, order, and a sense of authority, and when a quarterback of Watson's stature openly challenges those pillars, the repercussions can be monumental. Reactions inside the locker room range from shocked silence to whispered conversations behind closed doors. Some players reportedly tried to calm the situation, attempting to shift attention back to practice, but the tension was palpable. The camaraderie that had defined parts of the Browns season seemed momentarily fractured, and speculation about a locker room divide began almost immediately. There's a reason this story has gone viral so quickly. In an era where media soundbites travel faster than any official statement, Watson's words were dissected, replayed, and analyzed on every sports network, podcast, and social media feed imaginable. Fans have taken to Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit, debating whether Watson's comments were justified, an overreaction, or a sign of deeper issues within the organization. Analysts are weighing in, trying to decode whether this was a calculated move to push for change or a genuine emotional outburst. Either way, the Browns find themselves under an intense microscope. Adding fuel to the fire is the timing. The Browns are at a critical point in the season, with playoff aspirations still very much alive, but under threat from inconsistency and internal friction. Reports from insiders suggest that the tension between Watson and Stefanski has been simmering for months. Practices have been intense, meetings long and often heated, and sources indicate that Watson has expressed dissatisfaction privately, though never on such a public stage. The live confrontation, however, has turned private frustrations into headline news, forcing the organization to respond, or at least to address the optics. The question now is whether Stefanski can maintain control and authority, or if this public display signals a turning point that could reshape the team's trajectory. The Browns front office is reportedly holding emergency meetings, evaluating their options, and assessing the morale of a locker room suddenly thrust into the national spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Fans are not the only ones paying attention. Rival teams, agents, and even league executives are closely monitoring the fallout. In a league as interconnected as the NFL, news travels fast, and the implications of a quarterback openly criticizing his head coach are far-reaching. Some speculate that Watson's actions could influence trade discussions or contract negotiations. Others suggest that this may serve as a wake-up call for the coaching staff to reevaluate strategies, communication, and player relations. Within Cleveland, the buzz is intense. Local sports bars, social media feeds, and news outlets are all abuzz with reactions ranging from outrage to support. There's even talk among commentators that this incident could define the rest of the Browns' season, either catalyzing a turnaround if addressed properly, or deepening divides if left unresolved. As the story continues to develop, one thing is clear: this is more than a simple disagreement between a player and a coach. It is a cultural moment, a flashpoint that has exposed underlying tensions in the Browns organization. Watson's comments have sparked conversation about leadership, accountability, and the pressures faced by star quarterbacks in today's NFL. It also raises questions about team dynamics, media management, and how modern athletes use their platforms to amplify grievances. Sources close to the team say the locker room is still processing the shock, and meetings with coaches, staff, and players are expected in the coming days to address the fallout. Whether these steps will stabilize the situation or escalate it further remains to be seen. The Browns fan base is split, as expected. Some fans applaud Watson for speaking his mind, calling it a bold stand for accountability and player voice. Others worry that public criticism could undermine the team's cohesion, potentially leading to distractions or deeper rifts. Regardless of which side you fall on, the spectacle has reignited conversations about power dynamics in sports, the role of media in amplifying conflicts, and the expectations placed on elite athletes to perform both on and off the field. The irony, insiders note, is that Watson's passion for winning, a trait that has driven his career, may have inadvertently triggered a moment that now threatens to overshadow performance. This incident will likely be dissected for weeks, if not months, as analysts revisit footage, evaluate context, and speculate on long-term implications for both Watson and Stefanski. There's also a human element to consider. Players are not just athletes. They are colleagues, teammates, and sometimes friends. Witnessing such a confrontation can be disorienting and emotionally taxing. Sources report that some Browns players were visibly shaken, others conflicted about where their loyalties lie, and a few quietly expressing concerns that team chemistry might be compromised. It's a reminder that professional sports are as much about interpersonal relationships as they are about talent and strategy. For Stefanski, maintaining credibility and authority in the aftermath is crucial. For Watson, managing public perception while staying focused on performance presents its own challenge. For the organization, balancing transparency, discipline, and morale has suddenly become a high-wire act. In short, the Cleveland Browns find themselves at the center of a storm, the kind of story that sports media thrives on, where the line between professional conflict and public spectacle blurs. Watson's live confrontation has left a mark that goes beyond a single practice, game, or season. It's a moment that could define his legacy with the team, influence coaching decisions, and shape the narrative of the Browns for years to come. Whether this will result in reconciliation, a strategic overhaul, or even personnel changes, one thing is certain. No one will forget the day Deshaun Watson detonated Kevin Stefanski on live TV. The echoes of that moment are still reverberating through the locker room, the organization, and the entire NFL community. And as the story unfolds, every fan, analyst, and player will be watching, waiting to see what happens next. Because in professional sports, drama is inevitable, but when it happens this publicly, it's nothing short of historic. The Browns, for better or worse, are now at the center of the conversation, and the question on everyone's mind is simple. How will they respond, and what will this mean for the future of the franchise? Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!